Everything is awesome in the Lego Movie, the second part. Or is it? That and more on today's episode of The Real Review. So stay tuned. Welcome to The Real Review, sponsored by Parametric and Lazy Ape Studios, where you get some of the latest happenings, real thoughts, and perspectives in the world of film and television. Everybody, I'm here with Joel. This song's gonna get stuck inside you. This song's gonna get stuck inside you. Cunningham.
Do I need to finish it?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope.
That song, we talked about it. It did not get stuck inside my head.
I think maybe for children, that might be a different story.
Probably.
Yeah.
I didn't go with children, so I don't know.
Okay.
There was a very
I didn't
empty
go with
theater,
children either.
actually. A very big but empty theater. It was kind of sad.
It was me and one other person.
Really?
I did go to like a 10 o'clock showing, though. So.
Yeah, ours was not. Ours was actually, let me correct that. 8:45
Okay.
was our showing, so it was a little late. Kind
No
of on
kids.
the cusp of no
Okay.
kids, but still to be that empty.
Mine was Sunday night.
Anyway, I'm here with Matt. Looking forward to La Filmalita.
La Filmalita.
Hey, yes.
I don't know about that. Anyways, let me just say this right up front here. Any nickname I provide for you, Joel, is not
Yes.
commentary on you as a person. It's
That's
just
good to
something that
clarify.
I think of as being funny in that time or
Good
moment.
to clarify.
And so if anybody out there is like, you know what, Matt's kind of mean to Joel, or if, you know, or
vice
Joel's
versa.
kind of mean to
Yeah.
Matt. That's never the case. It's just something relevant to something we were talking about 5 minutes ago.
But mine are personal. No, I'm kidding.
Mine are personal attacks
Yeah,
on you.
exactly.
Yes, I got you.
no, I appreciate the clarification. There
Yes.
are times, there have been occasions where I'm a little bit like, all
Yes.
right.
I just say
Tearing me down.
that because I saw you writing in your journal and, you know,
You
being
saw me?
really upset and
Why are you-
crying about the nicknames I've given you in the past.
It's kind of scary because I would be writing in my journal at home. So how are you following me and watching me? This is getting really
we don't need to
deep
talk
when I
about this
started.
right now, Joel. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move right along then.
Anyway.
Okay, so welcome to the show, everybody. This is The Real Review. And just to give you a little bit of a concept breakdown of what we do here, Joel and I kind of live on two separate sides of the aisle.
That's good.
I guess a
Sides
little
of the
bit
aisle,
as
yeah.
far as film
It's like
critics.
we're at the same wedding, but we're like
We're like,
supporting
eh.
different sides of the bride and groom.
Right.
Kind of.
Like, was the wedding fun?
Yeah.
Or
I
are
was
you
like,
going to
well, was
nitpick
it-
the candles and the color they were?
Oh, see, that's mean. That's
That's you, bro. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's.
well, if the candles are gonna light a fire,
Right.
then yeah, I'm gonna nitpick them.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
But if they're
okay.
like just a different
feel me?
color
You
or
feel
like
me?
a different, wax consistency. Anyways,
I know.
so what I tend to do is I approach a movie from a very fun. Did I have fun? Did it move me emotionally? I can overlook a lot of little tiny nitpicky details. A lot of times, a very positive, very optimistic, glass half full. Hey, was it a good experience? Cool. Okay. Joel is a little bit on the other side, maybe a little bit more negative, a little bit more
I'm
pessimistic.
loving and caring, and I'm joyful and happy, and Joel hates and death and murder.
Yes.
It's about how this is
And
sounding,
Joel's favorite episode of the year is always the worst 10 films
Yes,
episode.
exactly. No, that's
because
my
he
least
could just
favorite.
go off on
I
it.
don't want to be this way, Matt. I'm just embracing who I am for our
Okay.
listeners and for you.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
so what we do though is we kind of bring that to a happy middle. We talk about it. We throw back and forth some comments and
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and give you two perspectives there. And that is The Real Review. But before we get into our review today, Joel, how can the people get connected with us?
Yes. Some wonderful, good, happy, exciting, lovely ways to get connected.
Yes.
I'm just going to start adding
That's the kind of stuff I like to hear,
positive
Joel.
flourishes.
That's what I love to hear.
Good adjectives. There you go. So first of all, realreviewmedia.com, which is our website. Check us out on there. Also, facebook.com/realreviewmedia.
Yes.
We're always posting lots of content up there. We just had a couple trailers drop. One of which I was like, yeah, pretty good. The other I was like, yeah, that's a big blue man. I'm not going to say what it was.
Blue man.
Use your imagination.
Aladdin.
Yeah. That's hot. That's so hot. Anyway, additionally, we have ways to get connected to us on Instagram and Twitter, which are both at Real Review Media. And then we'd love to hear from you with our email address, which is realreviewmedia@gmail.com. Gmail. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts and perspectives. Tell us what you thought of the big blue man in the trailer. And, if you also want to watch us, we have our YouTube.
Yeah, you know what? Let me throw this in there real quick.
The Real Review.
We're going off script here.
Are we? Oh, dang.
I'm going off script here, okay?
I'm not
Let me just
prepared
say
for this,
something
man.
about the Aladdin trailer. Yeah, sure. Will Smith did look a little funny as a genie, but the biggest thing that bothered me was Jafar's voice.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying
this
that
is
too.
okay. So in the original, he was like, "Mwahaha, I'm Jafar."
Yeah,
You know, that's
such
how he
an
talked.
evil
And this
sound.
one, he sounds like me and how I'm talking to you right now. He's
Yeah,
like,
he's like-
"Hey, Aladdin, go in there and get the lamp.
That would be fun.
Go into the cave of wonders,
Right, bro?
and go get the lamp for
Yeah.
me real quick." And like
Yeah.
nobody's scared of this Jafar dude. Like I don't know what's
It's
up with that.
tonally just way off where it was
It's
with
weird.
the original. Yeah, you might not make this comparison, but the way I'm comparing it, just leave this on me. It was the same thing for me with Beauty and the Beast. It was
okay.
like they tonally went like they had the same characters and the
Yeah.
same structure, but it was like that's not the character that I remember, and it's scaring me because I was actually really looking forward to this Aladdin movie. Aladdin's one of my favorite classic Disney
movies,
cartoons.
yeah. That's good.
So yeah, I'm a little scared. I'm scared. And somebody did a actual that would be one quick simple thing, just do a process on his voice to make it sound a little more menacing.
Yeah.
And then additionally somebody did like a side by side like recomposition of Will Smith using some actual like visual effects and made him look more like the genie. And I'm like, hey,
Oh, someone did their own?
yeah, I'll show you a photo.
Yeah,
I'll
I
show
got
you
to
a
see
photo
that.
when
You
get
show
a
me that
chance.
later.
Yeah,
That's
I'll show you.
awesome.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, that looks like a genie.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's dive right into it then, okay? We're going to talk about the Lego Movie 2, the second part.
Ew.
Okay, so it's been 5 years since everything was awesome, and the citizens are facing a huge new threat. Lego Duplo invaders from outer space, wrecking everything faster than they can rebuild. It's directed by Mike Mitchell, and it's written by Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and a couple other people. And then it stars a lot of the same people from last time. Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Arnett, Tiffany Haddish, Stephanie Beatrice, Allison Brie, Nick Offerman, Charlie Day, Maya Rudolph, Will Ferrell, Jadon Sand, number of Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, a lot of people actually. I can't go through all of them, but right off the bat, I'll say I thought this movie was fine. I didn't think it was as good as the first one.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie. It's better than average in my opinion, but I didn't find it as funny.
Yeah.
This time around, and I don't know why. And I'm trying to think if I was just being tired, if I was tired at the time when I saw it, and I just wasn't like latching onto the jokes.
Yeah, I don't think so. I didn't quite find it quite as funny either.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my biggest complaints towards the movie. There was two big things that kind of stood out to me as far as like negatives.
Okay.
And the first big one was just some of the humor. It felt like they were going for a punchline.
Yeah.
And it either like didn't land correctly.
Yeah.
Or there just wasn't actually a joke there.
Right.
And that happened numerous times. The best example I could make was the Raptors.
Yeah.
And I hate to spoil the film in a sense, but
It's not really a spoiler. There's
Lego
raptors in it. Yeah, you see that.
They would have like one, like when they first got introduced, they had like a couple lines that were kind of jokey and funny, and I like laughed at them. And then later on in the film, they would have these like one-off like subtitled lines, and they were just like commenting on things. They weren't even like saying anything funny. I didn't know if that was the joke, like that they're not saying anything important, or but like
No, the first time we saw it, they said a few things that I was laughing at. That they said best friends.
Right, the best friends was probably the funniest part to me of their dialogue.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was kind of like, well, they're not really either making use of them properly or something. They ceased to be funny like after the best friends joke.
One thing, being the massive Jurassic Park fan that I am, they actually used raptor noises from the original movies, which was cool. I was like, oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
I do want to start on a couple positives, I guess.
Do it.
One of the things that I did really like about this movie was that it was still very inventive.
Not
only in its willingness to like create new worlds and visual styles, kind of like with the way that it was doing the animation. It was really cool. I liked all the worlds that they sort of invented for this. But then additionally, even with the story structure, kind of their willingness to again break the fourth wall at times. I wouldn't say quite as cleverly this time, but they still went there. The way that they kind of incorporated reality with the story, which got a little weird. I really liked that, and it felt different than a lot of things I was seeing in cinema. Like that's kind of stuff I want to see in films. I'm like, I want to see you take chances and do different.
So
stuff.
that was a big thing with the first one. Was like oh cool, this is this cool new Lego universe that we're being introduced to, and then at the end it's like, wow, this is real world too. This is what this actually means. The Craggle is actually crazy glue. And stuff like that, and then. This one takes it a step further by incorporating that kind of stuff throughout the film. Like every now and then when they're flying in space, there's like a cutaway scene of like a string holding the Lego ship going across like a cutout
I thought
background.
that was kind of cute. Yeah.
I know. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think the payoff was as big at the end when they kind of try to tie it all together. Just because you knew that something, they had a lot of little funny words like Craggle, like the Momageddon and the Sistar world and stuff like that.
Yeah, you kind of knew what they were even before. There was no big surprise that
like the Craggle thing, I didn't know what they were talking about until the end.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
But the Momageddon, it was like, okay, obviously that has to do with mom
Right,
and Armageddon.
something, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the part of the jokes that didn't land as well for me. These ones, maybe it was because I'm used to the humor or something. It felt a lot more obvious where every single joke was going.
Right.
In the first one, there was so many times where I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that. And it made it really funny. So there was maybe 3 or 4 times where they legitimately kind of misdirected me enough and well. The banana character once or twice was kind of funny. I thought that was cute. The way he's he's slipping on his own peel. Like that was kind of funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to get into like more of the negative
well,
stuff?
So let me run some positives. Like I thought the voice acting was fine. The story was okay. The visuals I still think are really cool. I like seeing everything like Lego-fied. I think that's a cool thing. And then also there's a little bit more blend between. There's a little bit more of a blend. Bless you, sir.
Something for our video.
Yes, there's a little bit more of a blend in the that real world and Lego world and kind of how that all worked. I did like those elements. I did like the Raptor stuff up front, and the only line that I remember Aquaman having, I laughed out loud. He does the whole like Justice League thing. They take the line right out of the movie.
Yeah.
And like first time you see Aquaman, he goes, "My man," and then like he goes on the thing and he's done.
My man. Yeah. Some of those tie-ins are still there.
They're funny.
They're funny and they're cute. I did like that as well. I mean, the one where they're like. I think they were singing the song and they're like, well, these are the only heroes we have because Marvel won't return our call.
Right.
I thought that was like really funny too because you're like, oh yeah, you wonder why they are only using the Marvel or the DC characters.
I don't think they I don't think the use of Batman was as well in this one. I don't know. I found his character annoying at times.
Yeah.
But he Will Arnett's always one of my favorite like kind of like weird voice actor guys. Like I really like him.
I think with him, and this is kind of one of the complaints that I had. This is like more of a minor complaint. I had the big 2, but this is like one of the minor ones. It felt like they kind of got the characters, but on a very kind of one-dimensional level. Like this is who Batman is, but like in a very thin, shallow way. And so they kind of used who he was. But like if you saw the Lego Batman movie, it was such an awesome film in a way. To break through into like, well, why is the character like that? Why is he motivated to act this way and be this kind of a character? With this one, it was more just like, well, he is Batman.
Right.
So that's just the way he's going to be.
He's like, I'm the leader because they made 9 movies of me and they have like 5 others in development.
Which it's like, well, we've been through enough with Batman now that like we kind of know his character. We should be able to go a little bit deeper with him.
Sure.
And that's kind of the way I felt with most of the characters in this. I mean, there's new characters that have been presented in the film, so it was different for them. But at least any of the ones that were in the original film, I'm like, we've been through a long adventure with these characters. We've kind of seen them overcome a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I would actually say is a positive for me too, was the story. For the most part, I really did enjoy the story that it told. Mm-hmm. I was fearful at one point that they were going to go in a very similar direction to what they did with Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh, yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph 2 was a very negative film for me in a lot of ways because they set up a lot of stuff in the second film that undid a bunch of the great stuff that happened in the first film.
Right.
And in this one, they were kind of going down that path.
Yeah.
But the film actually came back in and said, no, that's actually not what we're doing. And so I really liked that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What
else do you have to say?
That's really it. Negatives, I wasn't keen on Maya Rudolph's character that much. But other than that,
she was kind of flat.
Yeah.
She had 2 funny lines.
Well, I thought she was trying to be funny a couple times. I was like, it feels like you're trying to be on SNL right now.
Agreed. Yeah, the Lego thing was her funniest part to me. Yeah. And then Will Ferrell was hilarious because he was never actually there. He just had a voice.
Yeah.
Basically.
What is up with that? And
he was like very briefly cameoed in the beginning.
But that was a shot from the previous
one. It was
movie,
like they didn't have him available. The only other real negative, and this was kind of like my big 2, The second one, and this is kind of the more it's less hard to pinpoint, but the film felt more existential. I know it's a big word,
Mm-hmm.
but the threat in the first film was very real and tangible.
Yeah.
You kind of knew that, like, okay, these Legos are like their threat is that they're going to become super glued, and the entire movie that was kind of the threat,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to be stuck like that.
Yeah.
This movie was kind of like this idea of like there's kind of this vague unknown enemy,
Yeah.
and you kind of knew what it was, but it was like it was there, but the enemy is more the character within the character,
Mm-hmm.
and so it just kind of gave me this vague sense of like,
Yeah.
the actual threat in a way in the actual like story was more about the two children outside of the Lego world.
Yeah.
And so it made that story more interesting and more important, but it kind of did that to me to the detriment of the actual Lego characters.
Yeah.
Because it kind of felt like they went on this journey to have a bunch of other people learn the stuff that they were trying to learn,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So I know existential is kind of a roundabout word and very weird to say without me going in depth and explaining. I'm really trying to not spoil too many aspects of the story, though. I feel like we use that as an excuse sometimes, and it's not. We really just try not to spoil things with our films here.
Straight up.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
enjoyed it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all my viewing experiences of the year so far, this has been one of the better ones.
Yeah, it definitely has been one of the better ones. I don't really have a lot of negative things to say
Yeah.
on what I've said already. I did not think it lived up to the first one, but I did appreciate a lot of the stuff in it, and it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a chore to get through, you know?
Yeah. I think that was the big things. It was like the humor just wasn't there for me. And then secondarily, it felt like the Lego people's story took a backseat to the characters in the
Yeah.
real world story.
They actually did. They actually
know?
incorporated more of a musical tone to it.
That I didn't like either.
Yeah.
That was more of a minor thing. I always feel like, and maybe this is just me, but it always feels like a bit of a cop-out when they just break into song.
Yeah.
Because it's like, to me, most of the time in movies like this, songs don't really move the plot forward.
Right.
They kind of just exist to have a longer period of time where something is happening that's
Yeah.
interesting and fun. Because you can go off in all these crazy directions with the
Yeah.
song that you wouldn't necessarily be able to in a plot. Because as soon as the song's over, you can just go whoop and then bring it
Yeah.
all back in. Same thing again with Wreck-It Ralph 2, you
Mm.
know, when they broke into song there. And this one had, 3 or 4 musical like breakdown
It did.
points. Whereas
Well,
the first one only
here's
had
the thing,
one.
though. The
Really?
difference between the first one is it was like a song that was on like the radio station and
Yeah.
people were listening to it. It wasn't like people broke out into song and were doing it. It was just because it was on the radio station. People were like maybe singing along with it.
Right.
Where this one actually had fully composed songs where they just start singing, you
Yeah.
know, and there's
Yeah.
musical accompaniment,
Yeah.
with it. And
I agree.
I was like, oh, that's different.
Yeah.
There was funny commentary, especially over the first one. I was like, so that's kind of funny. He's like, it's like that weird octopus.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
I
I get you.
don't want to spoil anything else. I
Yeah.
almost went into that, but
Again, it feels like the directors of this, like it's a different team, a different person directing this. The first one had the 2 guys. This one just had the one, Mike Mitchell. And I think it felt like they took, this is what the first movie was about and had in it and people really liked. Let's do those same things, but let's not recognize why.
yeah,
And that has to do with purpose and facility and reason for being in a script.
yeah,
The first one, everything that was in the script felt like it was in there for a reason
yeah,
and existed because that's where the story needed to go. This one felt more like checking off boxes at times.
Mhm.
And it's not like it did it unintelligently.
Yeah.
Like it checked off those boxes well, but it was like such a one-dimensional version of that. You
Yeah,
know,
for
it's like,
sure.
well, we have to go into like, well, Chris Pratt's character discovered all this stuff in the first film, so we have to go in a completely opposite direction with them. You know, but there were still like layers that I felt like they could go in with this character.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I could
gotcha.
keep going into detail with this, but it really just felt like a slightly less inventive, original version, less funny of the first
Yeah,
film.
no,
So,
totally feel the same on that. What would you grade this thing?
So I know I said a lot of negative things about it, but overall I still had a pretty decent experience. So I'm gonna give it an 80, which is a B.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 79. One right below you.
Wow, you're actually
Right.
going beneath
Wow.
where I'm at. Wow. Well, B minus for me. so-
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, I thought it was better than average, but it didn't. I don't know.
I'm giving it more credit for the fact that they're at least trying to still kind of do something inventive.
Right.
Like they could have just phoned this in, and it didn't feel like they phoned it in. It felt like they still tried to be creative.
I'm a little bummed out
times.
though that it didn't meet like half the expectation that was expected at the box office. Like, I don't know if we're gonna get another Lego movie. Like,
I don't think we will for a while, if anything.
Right.
Because the Lego Ninjago movie, I don't know how well that did, but I don't
neither
think it
Batman nor Ninjago did very well.
Right, Batman was great.
Batman was good.
Ninjago. Yeah. And then this one the theater was, like I said, really empty.
Yeah.
So just based upon ticket sales alone, we might not see another return to this for a little while.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I guess let us know what you think, if that's a good or bad thing. I haven't really processed it that far.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely want to hear your thoughts on this, everybody. So definitely let us know. Hit us up on our social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Real Review Media, youtube.com/The Real Review. And let us know what you thought about it and kind of maybe where we're off base.
Yeah.
Maybe we just...
I feel like I said two polar opposite things in my review.
Yeah.
Which is one that they were being inventive, and I'm giving them credit for that, but one that they were just checking off boxes.
Yeah.
I feel like they did both, but I feel like they didn't do either very well.
So, yeah. And you said polar opposites. This reminds me, there's like 3 movies that I need to see that all have like Polar
Express,
Arctic.
So that was a long time ago.
Those are Mads Mikkelsen movies, and then there's that Liam Neeson movie that's Cold Pursuit.
Oh yeah, I wanted to.
Anyways,
see that,
everything's like cold related.
Yeah,
and anyways, sorry.
Cold is so hot right now, Matt.
Oh man.
Didn't.
Anyways, Joel.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to add to that review?
No,
Anything
I
else?
think I'm good. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna let my review stand for what it is. If I didn't do a good job explaining it, then email me.
This next week we're
I'll
gonna
let you
try and actually coming really soon. As soon as we can, we're gonna try and review Alita: Battle Angel for y'all,
which will be a great one for us.
Yes.
Hopefully it's good.
Yes. We'll see.
People seem to not like it when it's bad.
Oh man, I made a comment like 10 months ago about the first trailer that came out saying that the effects looked bad, and they did in that first trailer. They did. Okay? They look way better now, people. I am 100%. I think they did not look good then. They look a lot better now. If you compare the two, they have done some great work on the visual effects. So stop being negative.
I might have to change your nickname to Matt Defends Himself a lot. Hey,
yeah, just from Alita Battle Angel fans. What the heck, man?
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. You've all been awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Nothing else you want to add, Joel?
Some ways to get connected. Just a reminder, realreviewmedia.com.
Yes.
Facebook.com/realreview.
Yeah.
Sorry, Facebook.com/realreviewmedia. Real Review Media, you said the email at Real Review. Yeah. Go back to the beginning if you want to get connected.
Yes, definitely do that.
Yeah.
And
do want to get connected. But.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to start talking about our next contest probably in the next month or two. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that.
Matt's car.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But anyways, thanks for having us. Thanks for having us. It's been amazing, and it's been real.
It's been real.